Put on your hiking boots and pack some granola bars. We're exploring the futuristic world of Cradle. I've seen many people describe and disregard Cradle as a walking simulator, but after having played it, I can say that it is more than that. Flying Cafe for Semi-Animals created a very unique world within Cradle, and while it's true you can just walk around and explore to your heart's content, the game does have actual objectives as well as a linear story. To me, a walking simulator is a game where all you can do is walk around, a game where the main focus is to just take in the environment. Cradle both is and isn't this, depending upon what you want to do and how you play it, and if you can even figure out what you need to do in the first place. Flying Cafe for Semi-Animals does want their players to explore the world they created, but there's enough to do in it that helps give it more of a purpose. Cradle's story is a bit confusing and strange. I don't want to spoil too much since it's one of the game's main focuses, but I do want to go over some specific points. The world of Cradle is a sci-fi, futuristic, and almost apocalyptic world plagued by a disease that causes people to explode due to their emotions. This disease is spread by ugly people. No, really, the game specifically says that it's spread by people who have bad genetics. So in this game, ugly people have ruined the world. This disease makes it impossible for people to have children for some reason, and to combat this, they created some kind of device that would allow a person to transfer their consciousness to robotic bodies called M-bodies. And these are what you interact with throughout the game. From what I can gather, your character is still human, although it's hard to tell since you never see him. Even though the game uses the overly done cliche of giving the main character amnesia, it actually works out really well. There are only 3 characters in the entire game. There's you, a lady M-body named Ito, whose brain you found in a box, and a male M-body who stops in from time to time. Neither you nor Ito really remember much of anything about who you are or what happened to you, and it sets up the overall mystery of the game. Gameplay in Cradle consists of walking around and solving puzzles. The fact that the main character has amnesia means that he doesn't remember what things are nor where they are. This really helps connect the player to the game, but it does give Cradle one of its biggest flaws. And that's the fact that the game does very little to help you figure out what you need to do. Honestly, I don't blame people for giving up on this game and writing it off as a walking simulator. Objectives are told to you by some text that you can see when you press the tab key, but it's extremely vague and usually refers to things that there's really no way for you to know what or where they are. Let me give you an example. One of the first things you have to do in the game is cook some stuff. Simple, right? It would be if the ingredients that you needed to use were things that existed in the real world. One of the main ingredients you need is a plum olive, which from what I've googled doesn't actually exist. The game says that it grows by the nearby lake, but there is no nearby lake. There's a river that spans a large amount of distance, but there's no large body of water surrounded by land, or a lake. Cradle leaves out the specifics because the devs really want you to explore the world, but the world lacks anything in the way of context clues, and it's almost impossible to figure out where or what you need to do sometimes. After walking around for about 20 minutes trying to find this plum olive thing, I finally looked up a walkthrough for the game, and I found out that plum olives grow in only one location, on one tree, and that tree looks exactly the same as all of the other brush up and down the river. Cradle's objectives, or puzzles, leave tons of rooms for context clues to help you find and learn about not only what's around you, but what you need to do. There could have been a book that you could have found that goes over different kinds of fruits to show you what a plum olive looks like, or where they would most likely grow, a map of the local vegetation that you could use to see the most likely spots of where one would be. Later on in the game, you find out that your main character's job works with plants, so that would make sense. There are many opportunities for things like this in Cradle, but they are so rarely used. There was only one puzzle that I found showed itself well in what you had to do and where you had to go. It wasn't even that obvious, but the clues that you had to use to figure things out actually existed, instead of the game just saying, "Find this thing." There's also a second kind of puzzle in Cradle that feels much more like a game than everything else. Every now and then you'll have to enter a virtual reality test room and solve some puzzles using blocks. None of these puzzles are super difficult, but they do add some arcadey fun to the game. Each time you do one of these, you have to utilize different properties of the blocks, and they do a decent job of building on top of each other. These puzzles could use some fleshing out to make them a little bit more interesting, but they're definitely a good distraction from some of the rest of the game's frustration. While Cradle does clearly have its flaws, I still enjoyed my time with the game. It's got a serious popped-in issue when it comes to some of its graphics, and some frame rate issues I found here and there, as well as the main character having a horrible, horrible voice actor.
Tabaha's right. Those kids were unusual.
It's still got a lot going for it. I really enjoyed talking and learning about the characters that you do get to interact with, and I would love to get to know more about them. Plus, the game has some fantastic art design. There was this one part at the start of the game where you had to help out a large bird, and its design took me by surprise. It looked like it would just be a normal bird, but then I found out it had an artificial power supply. Things like this happen multiple times, and it really makes for a unique and fascinating setting. Driven by the mystery of what happened to Ito, the strange lore of Cradle's world, as well as its fascinating design for its technology, really got me wrapped up in the game. Even though I did have to constantly refer to a walkthrough to figure out what I was supposed to do. It's disheartening that there were only a few locations to explore, with the largest being this big and bland grassland area, but I still enjoyed my time with the game, and I'm very interested to see what Flying Cafe for Semi-Animals will do with this idea if they continue it in the future. Is it worth the $12.99 price tag it has? Well, that's difficult for me to say. If you enjoyed these first-person exploration-focused adventure games that have been popping up more and more as of recent, then you will probably enjoy Cradle. If you don't, then I would say to give this game a pass. From a mechanics standpoint, it doesn't offer all of that much, but I will say this. I'm usually a very mechanics-focused guy when it comes to games, and yet I was still captivated by Cradle. Thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think about the game or this video in the comments section. I'm MegapieMan, and I'll talk to you guys later. View changed from isometric to third person, hence the third person part of the new game's title. According to the developers, there was high demand for this new third-person camera, so much so they even state that in the game's description on its Steam page.